Girl.
Grand
Hello.
evening, grand evening. Welcome to another episode of Look,
The
the
late
late
night
night.
caviar.
Girl, I had the
When
right
what comes
off
up,
the jump, off the jump.
comes
I had
out.
um, how you doing today, Dr. Sue? Let the people know how you
I'm
doing.
great. I am great. Got my lipstick on, y'all.
Oh,
Trying to be a
man.
big girl.
She
Cut my hair off,
fancy,
y'all.
huh? She fancy, huh?
Yeah. Put some earrings on, put a little makeup on. No, makeup just means the grease off my face. You know how
I
you
mean, look, who you expecting to show up to the lab tonight?
I am showing up for my people. I'm showing up for y'all. I thought that I needed to, you know, do a
Do a
little
little
class
sign,
in here.
sign.
Yeah, do a little something, something.
Little
Let,
sign, sign.
let
Ain't
you know
nothing
that
wrong with it.
I know how to clean up, y'all. I can clean up.
She said, I want to show y'all what I'm working with. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, Facebook user. So
At
they
least,
have a slime dude. What's up? What you say? What you about to say?
what we talking about tonight, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, tell him.
I know, I'm going to let you tell it, but I know what we're supposed to talk about.
Go ahead.
But I know what's coming up for me.
Let it come up.
I have been, you know, we're all on this journey, whether we acknowledge it or not. We're all on a spiritual journey because that's who we be.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of whether we are conscious of it or not, we're still on a spiritual journey. So, what sometimes happens with people, myself included, is that I get so caught up in life, I
Uh-huh.
forget to be connected spiritually to who I am being, my inner being.
Mm-hmm.
So these last months, I have been caught up with getting this house done, getting this done. I know more about construction, more about renovation, more about mudding and drywalling. Hey, I didn't want to know that. I didn't need to know that. But apparently somebody thought I did, right? So all of that to say, I began to feel a little some kind of way. And
Right.
the little some kind of way I began to feel was disconnected from myself, right? It's like when I am in alignment, I can feel the energy flowing through me.
Uh-huh.
I get what we call those God shots, except I get them all day long, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have this knowingness and I have a sense of peace.
Mm-hmm.
This move here to Florida wasn't a move that I sat down and said, oh yeah, this is what I want to do.
Right.
This move was more of I feel called to go back home. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know what
Right.
that's about. And when I shared it with a couple of people, what they said is, well, you know, there's probably going to be some healing taking place. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, all right, I'll go for that. There certainly could be some, and it has been. It's being now. Initially, I came in just like a newborn baby, man. I'm kicking and screaming. Yeah,
Hey,
because I wanted, there's so much work to be done here. We
yeah.
basically are renovating from the ground up, and I wanted it all to be done immediately. Never mind the fact that this house is 50 plus years old. I wanted it to be like new. I
Yeah.
just, my brother kept saying, my sister, see, you want luxury. You want, so the house is old. And I would say, my brother, no, I don't want, well, yes, I do. I want what I want, right? And
Yeah.
so I had to come to terms with that. What was that about? What was the calling about? Um, and over these last, I'd say probably the last 3 weeks, I have been feeling more of a return to self, return to self. I've been feeling like I felt before I got on this roller coaster of renovation, and before I got on got into the hurt of losing a friendship that I thought was going to be my forever best friend, and before I sold my condo and then the market crashed. And as I'm taking you on these, talking about these things, I'm going back in time, because this part of the journey really started back in 2008 when the market crashed the first time. And with that crash, it was like my whole life changed. It was just, there was an upheaval. And over the years, I pulled it back, but it's never been quite right.
Mm-hmm.
I have been looking for home. I've been searching for home. Now, home is not a physical place, because you can put your furniture or your stuff in any place and call it home.
Got that
That's
right.
that's not the home that I have been looking for. That's not what's been calling me. I said earlier, there's a green space that's about 3 minutes from my new old house. And I started walking
Oh, wow.
for the last couple of weeks, but consistently this past week. And I found myself experiencing this sense of peace, this sense of calmness. I felt the wind on my face. I looked at the leaves on the trees. I walked around. It's like a little track. I looked down and I saw, wow, that's a root of the tree. But it like the way it was growing was so beautiful, like concentric circles. You could see the circles and you could see the growth and the evolution in the root.
Mm-hmm.
I walked a little further and I saw a tree. And at first I walked by it and I backed up, because in a place where you would least expect it, there was not another limb, but there was this tiny leaf growing in this place that, to the human mind, you would say, that doesn't belong there. And I felt, once again, I began to connect with the divine, to connect with myself, to have the sense of peace. And I heard myself thinking, I'm home. I'm home.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to share. That's what's coming up for me. Home is not a physical place. And when we allow, sometimes we don't allow, life just happens. Life's, right?
Life
And
be lifing.
yeah, and it's easy to get out of alignment. You're not totally out, but you're not where there's a sense of knowing, right? So I knew that I was, yeah, as old folks say, I was still hearing from God, but I also knew that something's not quite right. And as I am
Now
renovating
you said
this
you knew
house,
something wasn't quite right.
yeah,
Oh, you while you were renovating. Okay.
yeah. As I'm renovating this house, what I realize, and I think I may have talked about this either on this show or another one, but as I've been renovating this house, I've realized that I really have been renovating myself. The healing that my friend said would probably take place, it wasn't a healing. I thought it was going to be about somebody else, but it really
Right.
has been all about me, all about me. And that is always necessary when you are connected with others and you want to be of service. The healing has to first take place here before you have something to give out there.
Yep, you are absolutely right, because from the place that we house within is the only place from which we can give, you know. And you bringing up healing. Hello, Tamika. Hello, Paula. Hello, Monique. Those are the only one I've seen coming through so far. So thank you all for sticking with us tonight. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and we just getting started. Dr. Sue already dropped us a little nuggets and hitting to where we're going with this topic tonight. Because last week we decided to go ahead and start talking about the what's up, Megan? What's going on? We decided to start talking about the Healing Summit that's going to be happening the first weekend of December. So it's no surprise that, you know, one of the things that were coming up for you was returning to self and healing, because the process of returning to self and healing is, it's not, you know, a lot of times we think that healing, or when we think about healing, I know for me in the past, when I've thought about healing, I've thought about trying to go in and take whatever that is causing me to feel a certain kind of way, and to change it and manipulate it to where it doesn't bother me or make me sick or make me tired or make me frustrated, or make me have bad dreams or make me traumatized, whatever it is. But, you know, when we focus on the thing, we're not focusing on healing. We have to focus on us, because the absence of the thing is what really captures the nature and the essence. You hear that feedback, right? Okay, that's what I heard before we started. The removal of that thing and the peeling away of that thing and the discarding of that thing, which equals a lack of focus of that thing and more of a focus of oneself, is what brings us to that state of healing. It's not taking that thing and doing something with that thing. It is putting focus back on yourself and doing something with yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when Dr. Sue talks about she found herself getting back to her daily walks, getting back to nature, getting back to the things that she enjoys that brings her peace and that solidarity, that is healing in itself. It's really returning back to the innate nature of a person. Do you have your phone near you?
Me?
Yeah.
I just turned it off.
Okay. All right. Because I put mine way over here. I said, because last time the only thing I could tell, okay, it's gone now. So it may be what it was. Because for some reason, I think the phones actually create some feedback. But yeah, so we're talking about healing. Who else was that said hey? Oh, Tamika said hey. What's up, Tamika? Coach Tamika. So, you know, what are some things in your life that, you know, you found yourself having to heal from? And if you want to share in the comments, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. I know for me personally, there was quite a few things that I had to heal for. And I looked up the definition of healing. It's really returning to oneself in so many words. And just, I feel like the main thing I had to heal from was really, truly just definitions that I had created for myself that weighed me down, of, you know, just perspectives of how I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to operate,
Mhm.
how I'm supposed to progress in certain relationships, how I'm supposed to stay in relationships or build relationships. A lot of times we think just because we committed to something, that alone is reason enough to stay in situations that we have outgrown, that we have surpassed, that we have already gathered all of the components from that we need in order to move on. But then we're still trying to wring out these positions and these positions and situations in life in order to get something out of it that is not necessary for the rest of our journey. It's just simply not. Someone said they've been working with self-rejection. And you know, self-rejection is one of those things that I feel like it's like a cancer. It consumes itself. It's when self-rejection is when you are consuming yourself and using up all your good resources, which is your focus, right? Your main resource, I feel like, in life as a human being is your focus, your power of awareness. I'm gonna try to keep my phone way over here, but there was something that I don't know if I wrote it or if I read it, but the essence of it was, we are all things. We are everything. But the gift that we're given is our choose which. We are all things, but our power lies in the choice of which thing we choose to be most of. We all have sadness. That's why you can watch a commercial and a dog, runs off and lost, and everybody crying. You ain't even got no pets. You ain't never had a pet in your life. Dog get lost, we all crying. Like, what is we crying for? It's because we all have sadness. If you see something funny and you have no reference from it, just the fact that someone's laughing and you don't even think it's funny, now all of a sudden you're laughing and you can't stop, you can't even breathe because somebody else laughing so hard, even if you didn't think the joke was funny, because we all have laughter within us. Abundance. We all, when the stock market crashed, even if you didn't have any money, don't care about money, you still feel it in some way because money is related to everyone. And so, just like COVID, you might have never had COVID, but I bet you wanted something for the grocery store when it was closed. We all have these, we're all connected in some way, right? And we have all the things, all the feels inside of us. But what we choose, which emotion we choose to go with, which idea we choose to go with, what people we choose to go with, what jobs we choose to go to, what country, city, state we choose to stay in. This is the power that we really all possess. And it just boils down to, what are you focusing on? And once from the state of your focus, what do you choose? Truly. What's coming up for you, Dr. Sue?
Yeah,
So much.
yeah, it's like the thoughts and the feelings are tumbling over each other. I want to share with you, and you all probably are already familiar with this because it's an old resource, but one of my favorite resources is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he talks about in there is how all of our life is filtered either through our past experiences, or through the
Future
perception of our
expectations.
future, right?
Mm-hmm.
We never, for the most part, we're never living in this moment of now. But now
Right.
is all we have. Life is a series of nows.
Yeah.
It's not a yesterday. There's no such thing. Yesterday is just a label. It's not a last week. It's none of those things. The future, the tomorrow, there's no tomorrow, because when you get to tomorrow, it's going to be right now.
Right now.
But what we do, we filter when I connect with you, I am connecting with you and processing my connection with you based on my past experiences with somebody else or something else. And so we go through life that way. And we go through life caught up in the stories that are in our head that we think we don't have the power to stop telling
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yep. And we do.
We go through life. It's like, whose life are you living?
Mm-hmm.
Whose life are you living? Because 9 times out of 10, it ain't yours. And I could say that about you presumptuously, because I can sure as hell say about me. I live so much of my life through the lens of somebody else's life, through somebody else's beliefs, through somebody else's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And the tragedy was, I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I didn't know that's what I was doing. Your mama tells you to go to school. My mom told me to go to school. My mama told me
Yeah.
to go to school because education was what she prized. It
Right.
was, she didn't get to go to school. My mom went through the third grade, formal education, third grade. So education was her thing, right? And so all of my life, it was about education. I I just roll with what
Following suit.
the programming, right? Because there was no other, it was like there's not a non-option. It's not an option to do something else. And this is what you do. So many instances that I have, and you have as well, experience where you're not living your life. The tragedy again is, for many of us, as was the case for me initially, what the hell is my life? What do I believe? What, as they say, what floats my boat? I don't know. because before I can know, I got to disinvest myself from other people's stuff. That's hard.
Disinvest.
I got to reconnect with my true essence. That's hard because for all that we may go to church, for all that we may read the Bible, the Quran, the whatever it is we read, ain't nobody saying connect with yourself. Ain't nobody saying unlearn what society has programmed you to believe.
Mm-mm.
You got to go deep. It's all of the answers, all of the knowledge, all of the everything that you're seeking. It is not outside. The only way you're going to find it is to come back within. And
Yeah.
the only way you can actually be in it is to be in the now.
Yeah.
When you are living in yesterday, see, I have some friends that I haven't connected with yet because I know that we're going to have to rehash what happened back then. I'm not back then.
Look,
And I
I don't
have some,
want it.
yeah, and I have some friends that it's all about tomorrow. I'm not there yet. I am trying really, really hard. And I know it's like, who's the little character from Star Wars, which I never saw, but they tell me that he said, I think it was Yoda, no try, do. Okay, so I am doing the now, being focused on, do you feel the blood running through your body? Do you feel the energy? Do you hear yourself thinking? Can you step outside of yourself and see yourself? How are you responding to this? How are you reacting? What are the thought, those stories that are programming your every move? What are they? And where do they come from? Are you creating on an original clean slate? Or is this a slate that somebody else, all these people, society has painted? And it's a hot mess that you're
It's
trying to
a
live.
hot mess.
And that's why my life is a hot mess, because I've been trying to live what somebody else, a lot of somebody's painted on the canvas. So I don't know what, somebody must have needed to hear this.
Or you must have needed to say it. It doesn't
Or I
matter
must have
what.
needed to say it, because
Yeah.
that's what is coming up for me today. And
Mhm.
and I wrote this, I wrote while we were talking, I wrote disinvest ourself of ourself.
You know,
Got it?
I just feel it so. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel. I don't. I'm feeling somebody. It's not me because I'm very. I'm very authentic, and I think that's why a lot of people are attracted to me and who I am, and want to rock and roll with me in certain arenas. Um, and I love that. But I'm feeling um, um, just a heaviness for somebody, for some reason. But what I know for sure, and I can only speak from my point of reference. I put a post up the other day. We can only reference from our point of understanding. And what I have come to understand about being oneself, someone put fulfilling the expectations of others and living as an imposter of self. We create who we are on a regular basis. I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah.
And when we find ourselves in a place where we feel unauthentic, we feel like a shell of ourselves, we feel like an imposter, then that's what we have created. Now I know that sounds redundant and that sounds simple, like I didn't really say nothing but the same thing twice. But when we come to the realization, ourselves and we create an imposter, that is still who we created. That is still who we are. We are not any less of ourselves because we've created ourselves to be a way that is unauthentic. Because then at that point, our our authentic self becomes inauthentic. And we create that. That is who we are. It's not an imposter. You feel like an imposter because you know you've created something that you don't like. You created something based off, like I think I'm not sure who put this. I think it's probably from Sacred Space because it's not coming up on my phone. But when you fulfilling the expect, oh, that echo is really getting to me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
I hear it. I'm sure. I'm probably others hear it. But when you create a persona of yourself that is fulfilling the expectations of other people, that's not a bad sign. That's a good sign when you start to feel unauthentic, when you start to feel as if something needs to change. That is that part of you that is authentic saying, hey, spend more time focusing on me. That is your guidance system kicking in. Imposter syndrome, if you can identify it, you can change it. If you feel inauthentic, if you feel it and recognize it, you can change it. This is when decisions are introduced into our lives. This is when power comes back into our reins. This is when someone gives you the steering wheel of your life back, and you realize that at any given time, anything you've given away that's yours, baby, you can take it back. You can take it back anytime you want to because it was yours to give away and you created an imposter. It's also yours to take to correct something that you now want to do differently. And we got to make sure that we always recognize that power and try your best to refrain from looking at inauthenticity as something negative and look at it as a positive aspect of your God being telling you you do have a choice. Because if you recognize it, you do have a choice. And ain't no better time than the present. Like she said, be here now. Make the decision now. What is one thing that you're like, okay, I feel like I'm getting off track. What is one thing that can reel me back in? What's something that makes me feel at home? For Dr. Sue, a walk. For me, rolling around in the floor, y'all. I know that may sound crazy, but your girl likes to roll around in the floor with a foam mat and a yoga ball and a yoga block. And I would be there for hours if I have to be to work energy out of my body because that's how I can tell when something is going to feel certain things in my body. And through stretching and moving, singing, humming, I work these things out of my body because I've gotten to know who I am. But you got to get to know who you are. So then in those times where you're feeling like just a fraction of yourself because you've given your power away to fulfill the expectations of others, you can pull it back in. You can rein it back in at any given time because of your awareness that something is off. It's a good thing. It's a real good thing. Because some people, have you ever saw somebody and you know in your heart of hearts because of the eye shade through the third eye that you're seeing people and you're like, they're more than that. But they don't see it. That's when there's a problem. It's not a problem when you do see it. It's a problem when you don't. When you're so far out of touch that you're so wrapped up in other people and other people's lives and stuff, that is when it becomes a problem. It is not a problem if you notice that you may have imposter syndrome. It's not a problem if you notice that you are going through some self-rejection. It's not a problem if you notice that you're off track. That's your power showing up. Because now I'm back in control. Because now I can make decisions that can steer me in a different direction. Wouldn't you agree?
I do, and as you were speaking, there were a couple of things that I wrote. One is that when we engage, when we take on a persona that is not our authentic self, then a question that we should ask ourselves if we want to correct it is, what is in it for me? Because yeah, I went to school and I went to college because that was what my mom wanted. But what was the meta message that I was telling myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a girl. Girls are supposed to go to school. If I don't go to school, my mom is going to be upset with me. My mom is not going to love me. So I have to go to school because what I wanted was to stay in her good graces and to stay in to make sure that she loved me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many times we it's hard for us to break out of dysfunctional or non-functional behavior, or to get off of that inauthentic track, because there is something in it for us. We
Mm-hmm.
may not be conscious of it, but if you sit with it, if you sit with, if you're in an abusive relationship, if you are the abuser or the abusee, if you're at a job that you hate, if whatever the situation is, if you can step outside of yourself and look at yourself and look at the situation and ask yourself, what is in it for me? What is the reward? Because even negative behavior can be a reward, right? So
Right.
that was one thing I thought. And then I thought, thinking. It all comes back to thinking. Everything starts here. When we talk about the imposter syndrome, how many of you have ever had somebody walk up and say, "Oh, you're an imposter"? Oh, you have imposter syndrome.
Fake poser.
Most people, even if they think it, most of them don't have the nerve to say it.
Right.
So, who's telling who the story?
Yeah.
You are telling you the story.
Yep.
And I know, because I lived it. Despite all the degrees, despite all the credentials, I lived that. And I told myself, at first it was like, well, what is wrong with me? Why am I got all this stuff. I've done all these things. I should be on the top of the world. I shouldn't have any self-confidence issues or whatever. And then I went on this quest to figure out, what is this thing that is happening within me? Oh, I've found the literature on the imposter syndrome. I grabbed hold to that label and wrapped up in it. It's like, oh, that's what's wrong with me. Now I'm an imposter. I have imposter syndrome. And I wore that label for a while.
Yeah.
I stopped having self-esteem issues. I stopped having confidence issues. I stopped having all those other things. And now I had the imposter.
Yeah.
Right? I got this, I know what it is. And I just went all the way in until one day, and it was a little while, probably 10 months to a year. And I was just sitting down with myself, thinking about myself. Yeah, I got to pardon my language, but I'm going to tell you what I said. What the fuck? I did the same thing all over again. I
Yeah.
traded one set of labels for a whole new set, and it's the same process. Oh, I got to back up from that, because none of that is me.
Yeah.
I am not the label.
I
But
am the awareness.
then I had to really sit with the question, who am I? Who am I? That's a deep question. And sometimes it can be so deep, it's frightening, because sometimes for some of us, we don't want to know who we are. Some of us, we love, y'all. I don't often talk about my credentials. You can look them up on my website if you want to. My curriculum vitae from academia is 20 pages long, 18 to 20 pages long. I've done a few things. It took me a while to get to the point of understanding that none of that is important. Now, I am not minimizing the credentials, I'm not minimizing the experience, but ultimately, I am not that, and
Yep.
neither are you. And so when I sat down with me, if I'm not the lawyer, if I'm not the doctor, if I'm not the police advisor, if I'm not the consultant, who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? That's deep. And for me, the answers didn't come overnight, despite my age. See, so we get it twisted, because for some of us, we think as you get older, you get wiser and you don't have these issues. Listen, life is like a snowball. It's just gonna keep rolling. And every time you think you figured it out, you're gonna roll across a new
Keep
bump.
on rolling.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, when you understand the role, Go with it because it's all
Mm,
divine.
mm.
You only get out of sync when you are trying to make it something other than what it is.
You
When
better say
things
that.
come into your life, they come in with ease. And if they don't come in with ease, you have to ask yourself, am I supposed to have this? Is it
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be in my life? If you're fighting to hold on to somebody, you're fighting to hold on to something. You heard what I said, fighting, let it go.
It ain't
Let it
yours.
go. It ain't
Yeah.
yours.
And
Because
you
the
know what?
things that
I'm sorry. And you you know what sometimes we do too, we wish and hope for all these things in life. We look for, Lord, send me a change, Lord, send me this, like give me, let me prosper, this, that, and the other. And then we accept the label that's not ours in the imposter syndrome also, because we're trying to be something different. And then when we take on the role of something different, we ain't wore the role long enough for it to feel like ours, and now we feel like we're an imposter for something new that we've never done. You ain't supposed to know what it feels like. You're supposed to
right.
keep doing it until it fits. You know, it's like a new pair of jeans. You gotta do the little couple squats before you leave the house in that thing. You know, you gotta work it in. You know, and don't put them in the dryer. Where you want to wear them 3 or 4 times before you even wash them. You know what I mean? You got to get that memory in the thing. And that's how it is with new roles that we play, new places that we go, new people that we interact with. We got to develop some muscle memory, some spiritual memory, some
Mhm.
reality right now memory about these roles that we're taking on, about these relationships that we're in, about these jobs that we're holding down, about these businesses that we are open, about these regiments that we're doing, about the new food that we are intaking, about the habits that we're giving up. And we say we can't do it, or it don't feel right, or I feel like an imposter. No, you're just not used to what you're walking into, and you're still craving what you're leaving. You got to give it some time. You got to let the newness work for you and grow on you so that you can continue to expand. Because we all know, if every time you feel like you're losing a race, you start over from the finish line, not only are you not going to win, but you're not even going to give yourself a chance.
Right.
You can't go back to the finish line because you're upset about how far away you are from the end. You just got to run the race. And sometimes, yeah, once you get through one race and you think you get ready to bust through that little ribbon, and all of a sudden you look like down and ain't no ribbon there, it's because there is no prize. It's the journey. So the next time you take off running and you're on your way to wherever it is you think you're doing, pay more attention to what's happening on the run. Not necessarily of what you're running to, but what are you becoming within this journey? What are
Mhm.
you gathering within this journey? How are things helping you and aiding you and allowing you to see more of yourself? Because everything is new. The Bible says what we die daily, right? Science tells us every 7 years we're literally a new creature, right? The clothes you used to wear didn't fit anywhere, right? If not to mention the fashion has changed, right? So it's like everything that we've ever had, it has its own purpose, its own season, its own reason. As do we. The me that am with Dr. Sue, I'm not that me with anyone else. But if I try to carry who I am with Dr. Sue to who I am with Monique, and who I am with Monique to who I am with my mom, and who I am with my mom to who I am with my doctor, and who I am with my doctor to who I am with the person at the grocery store, it doesn't work that way. So we have to appreciate all the facets of ourselves, even the part of us that's new to something. It's a brand new relationship, not just with people, but with habits, with places, with ideas, with philosophies. I know religion for me was a big thing, to wrap my mind around spirituality versus being Southern Baptist. Or we actually were non-denominational, but we started off Southern Baptist. And once you start off a certain way, it's hard to get away from the roots just by calling yourself non-denominational, just so you don't have to worry about the people trying to figure out what you are, right? But in spirituality, it's even more elusive than non-denominational. Because then you open yourself up to the Bhagavad Gita, you open yourself up to the Quran, you open yourself up to the Torah, you open yourself up to all these things and all this literature and all this knowledge, and you start to feel like an imposter there too. Because you're like, how can I say, first, this is how it started off level. How can I say I'm a Christian if this really makes sense? If all these other guys make sense too, am I blasphemy? Am I abomination? Am I going to hell because I'm entertaining a truth that's not the same truth I grew up with? Spirituality is in everything. It's everything that we do, because spirituality is a coming back to the one source that connects us all to everything. All the
Yeah.
religions, all the races, all the sexual orientations, all of the philosophies, all of the body types, all of the hairs, all the ages, all of it. That echoes back again. All of it. If you could just hear through the echo, all of it is connected. And when we come to the realization that even expansion in spirituality sometimes feels like an imposter too, because it's new knowledge and it's new information that you're having to apply and discard from your life. And sometimes I know for me, it was very uncomfortable to have to discard stuff that is spiritual, because we hold these spiritual things and practices so sacred and so high. But not even all spiritual practices are for you. They're not all for you. You don't have to have them all. We can live 10,000 lifetimes and not be able to even apply all spiritual practices. You have to find your way, see what you're drawn to. And what worked for you last year may not work for you this year. And you have to be all right with that, because you are coming into more and more of who you are and who you want to be and what you want to experience. And we're one of the things that we're going to be talking about in the Healing Summit is releasing the guilt behind that. Releasing the guilt about expanding and healing. Like sometimes we have to heal from old expectations, old definitions, old practices, in order to get to the nitty gritty of some of the things that we feel is for us and our path, and not worry about what everybody else is doing on their path, because they're trying to gather their information too based on what they have been experiencing in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if y'all know it or not, but Dr. Sue is one of the speakers for the Healing Summit. She's actually going to be speaking the third night, which is on that Sunday.
A Sunday.
And she is the second speaker on that Sunday. So you want to give them a little sneak peek into, it ain't got to be a whole lot, but kind of tell them a little bit about what you're going to.
Yeah, the topic is all eyes on me. And that topic was given, I think I probably was one of the last speakers to let Carrie know what I was going to talk about. But I had to sit with it. I had to go to God on it. And it's like all eyes on me. And I when I told Carrie, I said, are people going to know what I'm talking about? And she said she did. So I'm assuming you guys will as well. It's really simple, but it's not so. When we think about all eyes on us, it's like it is external. There are people. My mama used to say this thing about somebody's always watching you. You never know who. And so, because someone is always watching us, that's programmed into our mind, and we are. This kind of relates to that feeling of being an imposter. We change our behavior to coincide with what we think other people think we should be. And then all eyes on me really comes down to this: the only eyes that matter are yours. It is with all of the answers are within you. Any healing that takes place is within you. And the only eyes that matters are those of the divine. And you're the divine, right? Everything that comes, when you say I am, then you're setting the stage for who you be and how you show up, right? And so if your focus is outward, right, but you're not going to get it right because you're going to be forever looking at all of these people who are looking at me. But you know what? We came into this world, unless you got a twin, and even if you got a twin, one of y'all came in before the other. So we came in one at a time, and we'll go out one at a time. And so the eyes that are external that are watching us, we really have to sit and think, how important are they? And whose eyes really matter? All eyes on me. All eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm tell y'all a little funny that would crack me up. When she told me the name of her title, I said, "Okay, Tupac." Okay, she's like, "Huh?" And no
And
idea,
she had no idea what she was
no
talking about.
point of reference. I was like, "Yeah, Tupac. All eyes on me." And she was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
That's a generational thing right there.
Oh, good. Hey, but timeless at the same time. All eyes on me.
All
And
eyes
I
on me.
love the affirmations that we use starts with the I. And when we talk about, we went through the 7-day chakra journey, and the third I affirmation is the I am. And so when you start to think about, all of the things that you claim that you are, and all the things that no, I'm sorry, the root chakra is I am, and you start to think about all the things that you claim that you are, and you start to take ownership of, like those labels. Know that that is the decision, and as soon as you make the decision, it's a good practice, if you so choose, to let yourself know, and at any time, I can either one, change my mind, or two, allow someone else to change it for me. Those are the only two options. And in the end, it's still your final decision. So make sure that the things that you saying that you are, and the things that you saying that you resonate with, that are things that make sure that all of your eyes are on you, and you are labeling yourself accordingly. Because we do label ourselves. Let's be real. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm good. I'm healthy. These are all labels. But the ones that really dig deep tends to be the negative ones. It says we all have a personal journey to self-discovery. Yeah, we do. And I think the main thing is to realize and really truly be aware of the things that you are focusing on, whether it's the I ams that you're focusing on yourself by the words that you're speaking, which means you're putting spells over yourself, or by the I am of the things that you're focusing on with your inner eyes, outer eyes, all the eyes that you're focusing on, because where energy goes, energy grows. And it's what you see and it's what you say. So it's what you see with your eye, and it's what you say with your I ams. And it works. All eyes have to be on you and your highest good. So I can't wait. Y'all better come and get some on you. I'm trying to tell
It,
you. Y'all gotta
it
come and get
just
some.
it just occurred to me that perhaps the most powerful affirmation there is I am, I am.
I am that I am. I am that I am. Yeah.
Because we are. We're one with God.
Mm-hmm.
There is no duality, there's no separation. Not no separation from each other, no separation from any animate or inanimate thing. It is
Nothing.
all connected. Everything is connected. And when we attach the other labels, even if we're saying, I am happy, what does that mean? It's a
Mm-hmm.
label. It requires you to think that you're supposed to be and act in a certain way and think a certain way. But what
Mm-hmm.
if you just, in being in the now, being present now, what if you just focus on I?
And mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would, even take it just a little side note, the little reference note in the bottom of the Bible where it's real tiny and say, go look in Joshua for a little reference on this. If you find yourself saying, I am happy, and there's a because or a after it, because if the eye is looking outward, you're happy because you got the job. You're happy because the kid's acting right. You're happy because you feel good. When you can be happy with, and that's the end of the sentence, nothing happened special. Not the promotion didn't come. The health ain't there. The spouse ain't there. The food ain't there. You're hungry and you're still happy. That's when you got it. And then everything that makes you happy can't help but come to you. The food, the partner, the house, the home, the job, the wealth, the health. It don't matter. When you decide that you can be happy without anything being attached to it to solidify your happiness, that's when you're really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we spent a whole lot of time talking about something else. What came up for me came out. And
Yeah.
now I'm going to turn it over to Carrie to tell you about the Healing Summit.
All right. So it is the first weekend of December, the first, the second, and the third. And we have a lot of speakers. We actually have 12 different speakers. I'm going to get on Facebook right quick just so I can make sure that I don't skip anyone. And I also want to give you the order that it's in. And I know a lot of these names will be familiar to a lot of you guys. So, but then there's also some new speakers and new people that I am getting to know. Absolutely. Unconditionally happy. And that's what it's truly all about. We got to be unconditional in every decision that we make. Unconditionally in every decision that we make, because all of the eyes have been reverted to ourselves, and we're choosing things that truly are good for us and not attached to anybody else. So the Healing Summit, December the 1st, day one, we're going to have the speaker Joseph Nix. He's going to be talking about how hypnosis works, heal the mind body connection. Day two, I mean, sorry, not day two. The second speaker of day one is Angelique Johnson, also known as Angelique the artist. What's that? Is that something? What's it? Do you hear that?
No.
Do you have a fan on or something? That's weird. Something. Anyway, okay, so Angelique Johnson, Angelique the artist, she's gonna be it is echoing really bad. She's going to be speaking on recognizing that you are creating connected to source. Stacey Henry Carr, she's going to be speaker 3, the journey of healing. And then Leah Abraham is the fourth speaker. She's going to be speaking about her 5-step program to healing, the 5-step healing process. All right, so day 2. I'm sorry. I apologize for the echo, because I know if
It's all on your end, because there's a lag when you talk. There's been a lag when you speak the whole time.
I know, but that's the thing, though, Dr. Sue. We literally have to 100% have to troubleshoot soon, because I haven't had any trouble. All right, so day 2 is Tina Wolf. Oh, she got the wrong thing on here. I just noticed. Day 2 is the speakers are Tina Wolf first. The second one is Vanessa. The third one is Raymel Bentley, and the fourth one is Dr. Antoinette Marie Williams. And then day 3 is my cousin. I always say that. I call her TC, but her name is Carol Ruffin. Dr. Sue Carter Collins, and then Kimani and Jiku, and then Joy Natty. Joy Natty is actually my co-host for the Healing Summit. Y'all will meet her November 17th is potentially when she'll be my guest on my Sunday lives. But either way it goes, you'll definitely meet her on the Healing Summit that weekend, the first through the 3rd. And it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time every night, 7 to 9 Eastern, 4 to 6 Pacific Time. So it's going to run about 2 hours. If it goes over, it goes over, whatever. It is donation based only. And so, came too late again. So the Healing Summit again is December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. If you want to participate, In the actual Zoom, there is a link on Eventbrite. We take donations. Oh my goodness, this echo. We take donations anywhere from $1 to $1,000,000. We take it, we whatever donation you feel laid on your heart to give, that's how much your ticket costs. If for some reason you don't have a dollar to invest into this healing summit, into whatever the event, please contact me. Just contact me in my inbox, and we will get you the information that you need in order to participate in the healing summit. So that is all the information that's on off here, since this thing it's echoing pretty good over here on my side. But I just wanted to say to everybody who's watching, everybody on their healing journey, expansion journey, spiritual journey, life journey, I love you. I love you. I care about you. I wish the best for you. I don't care if I've never met you. I know for sure that whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you are trying to obtain in your life, peace, happiness, joy, abundance, wealth, health, and everything in between, it is possible when you decide that it's yours. I promise you. So, Dr. Sue, what are your final words?
Before I give final words, I want you please to tell them the charity, the organization that we're supporting.
It is called nature.org. Look it up. Nature.org. Just look up. There is a conservatory that was started, I think it's 1986 or something like that. I can't remember. But what they do is they really just preserve natural forests. They keep the earth clean. They pull trash out of oceans. And let's be real. Nature is the one thing that will never stop giving to us. So we have to make sure that we never stop helping it to give to us. Yeah. Do what you can to help nature do its job for us, because without it, we can't even breathe, y'all. Now, you may think it's great at night when you go to sleep and your little lungs saying, but so if the trees do not bear the leaves and filter this air, it don't matter how great your lungs is. You ain't never had to smoke a cigarette in your life. You can have pristine lungs. They will not work. They will not work if we do not take care of our nature. And it's so beautiful. Like let's take care of it. And that is what the conservatory does at nature.org. Check it out. 50% of the proceeds will go to this charity. It is a 501 nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit. And then the other 50% will go to ATBA and all of the speakers that are volunteering their time and their services and their help to assist you on your healing journey. So that's the good thing about the Zoom, is when you're in the room, we're going to have a 30-minute Q&A at the end. So these presenters, you got four spiritual healers every day, 4 conduits of healing every day for 3 days. And you can come and ask them questions. You can get guidance. And not to mention, they all have their own profession. So if you're seeking guidance or assistance after the healing summit is over, you have contacted all these people so that you can invest back into yourself and into them to invest into your own healing. Sure that you tap in if you know anyone who is looking for any type of healing. This doesn't have to be something traumatic. This can be overwhelmed. Yeah. This can be from something, it could be from sexual trauma. It could be from mindset, when you, like she was saying earlier, like when you're just in that mental state of what the fuck? Like what is going on? Like to help compartmentalize, some of the things that you got going on, just so you can dissect it long enough to look at it, so you can know what to discard and put back in. Any form of healing that you're looking for, I promise it will be touched on in these 3 days. It will be touched on in these 3 days. So come and participate. Invite everybody you know. I will drop the Eventbrite link in the comments so that you can go and read about it. There's more literature on it. There's more literature on each person, what their intentions are, what their credentials are, if that's something that you're interested in, the type of healing that they do outside of the Healing Summit, and the different offers that they have for you after the Healing Summit is over. So tap in, tap in, tap in.
So my last words, y'all, I love you. I do. I so look forward to Friday nights, and I'm so grateful that God has directed us to share with you and to share with each other, because every every time we connect, I learn so much, and I get so full. It's like I can't see your faces out there, but I feel your energy and I feel the love. And I'm excited to be here, excited to share, excited to receive, and looking forward to the Healing Summit and looking forward to next Friday night happy hour, y'all.
Yeah. Come back and see us again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, right?
Where what comes up?
Comes out, baby. Bye. Mwah. We love you guys. We'll see y'all next time.
You know, as I was thinking about what we are doing, it really is an opportunity for people to connect with their beingness. We are not conscious of the compartmentalization. We just say, this is who I am, right? Who you are is different depending on the environment that you find yourself in or the people that you find yourself connected with. So I hold myself out as an example. You know, at 71 years old, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to self-acceptance. And I think it may be that way for many of us, that we look at the pieces of ourselves and decide, I can show that. No, I can't show that. Is there a danger? How deep is the danger if I show you all of me? Oh, I can show these people this part of me, and these people this part of me, and these people this part of me. And then the question is, how long before you get tired of just compartmentalizing your beingness?